Hey, what's up, everyone? So today I want to talk about the Roman Empire. Yeah, that one. Big dudes in sandals, emperors getting stabbed, Colosseum and all that. But instead of doing the usual fall of Rome, doom and gloom thing, I want to flip it a bit and talk about what they actually did right. And, fair warning, I'm coming at this from kind of a utopianist angle. So if that's not your thing, cool. But if you're into imagining how ancient imperialism accidentally gave us a preview of a better world, stick around. All right, first off, infrastructure. Rome straight up invested in the people. Like, say what you want about emperors and conquests, but they built roads, aqueducts, public baths, sewers, and it was for everyone. Rich, poor, citizen, even some non-citizens. You all got to walk on the same roads, drink the same water, take a bath in public facilities. In a weird way, it was like this massive, state-backed public works project. Not for profit, just for functionality. And the craziest part? It worked. Like, we're still finding Roman roads today that are in better shape than your local pothole-ridden highway. That's wild. From a Otpoianist view, this is the state serving the people through collective investment. Can't deny that. Second, let's talk about citizenship. Now, huge asterisk here, because early Rome was super elitist and patriarchal, yeah, but over time they did this insane thing. They expanded citizenship to almost everyone in the empire. By the time of Caracalla, pretty much every free male in the empire was a Roman citizen. That meant legal protections, access to courts, rights. Even if the reality was still skewed toward elites, the principle of universal inclusion was forming. From a utopian lens, that's actually huge. It's this move toward tearing down national borders in favor of a unified human identity. Not based on race or ethnicity or birthplace, but participation. You're part of the collective. You contribute, you belong. It's not perfect, not by a long shot. But for a world where other empires were locking people out, Rome went for inclusion. That's one step toward post-national solidarity. Okay, now here's where it gets really spicy for us on this Chanel. The grain dole. So Rome had this system, and I'm simplifying here, where poor citizens in the city of Rome got free grain every month. Just for existing. Like, they literally had food distribution without forcing people to work for it. They didn't call it welfare, but that's what it was. A state-backed guarantee that nobody would starve, at least in the capital. Now imagine if that scaled across the whole empire. Obviously, it was done more to keep the peace and prevent riots than out of compassion. But still, this was a government that saw, hey, people need to eat. Let's just give them food. That's an early glimpse at the idea of universal provisioning, a core concept in any egalitarian utopia. Next up, public entertainment. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bread and circuses, right? Keep the masses distracted while the empire does its thing. But let's pause. What other pre-modern civilization was like? You know what? We're going to build giant arenas where literally anyone can come in and watch some wild stuff. For free. The Colosseum, theaters, races, all accessible. That's public joy. Collective recreation. Shared experiences that weren't paywalled. Again, not saying the content was utopian. Gladiator fights, yikes. But the idea of communal leisure space? That's gold. In a utopian society, we imagine art and entertainment as things everyone gets to experience. Rome actually kinda did that. Okay, let's get a little more macro. The Roman Empire had a centralized administrative system that could move resources around the empire. Grain from Egypt fed people in Rome. Troops were stationed from Syria to Britain. Roads connected it all. That's not just empire, that's planned economy-esque. Imagine a world where we organize production not around markets and profits, but around need and logistics. Rome didn't have our tech, no internet, no spreadsheets, and they still managed to coordinate across thousands of miles. Yeah, they did it to maintain control. But again, the infrastructure and concept could totally be repurposed for an egalitarian future. If the empire can supply a legion in Gaul, we can supply free healthcare to everyone in 2025. Just saying. Rome was surprisingly chill with religions, at least before Christianity took over. They were like, cool, you worship Isis? Mithras? Jupiter? Whatever, just pay your taxes. The empire was a melting pot. And yeah, sometimes violently. But over time it started absorbing and blending cultures. This weird mix actually led to a kind of proto-internationalism. Like, hey, we're all different, but we can live in the same system. It wasn't based on ethnic purity or ideological conformity. It was messy, but it was a step toward the idea that diversity doesn't have to mean division. So, yeah, the Roman Empire, massive imperialist war machine, absolutely. But also, it gave us roads, welfare, baths, multiculturalism, centralized planning, and public recreation. Was it utopia? Hell no. But did it accidentally blueprint some of the stuff we want in a utopia? Kinda, yeah. The lesson here isn't to bring back Caesar. It's to learn from the systems they got right. Imagine if we took that infrastructure, that scale, that commitment to provisioning, and flipped the purpose. No emperors, no conquest. Just collective well-being. That's the utopian remix of Rome. Thanks for listening to Derivative Conquest. Catch you next time.